The information and discussions shared on the Love Show are from personal accounts and experiences. Listener discretion is advised. This episode contains explicit language and frank discussions of adult themes or sexual content that may not be suitable for all audiences. Any communications, considerations, or recommendations are not a substitute for medical, psychological, or licensed professional help in wellness or recovery. Please seek a qualified practitioner regarding specific needs or concerns. We thank you and hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to The Love Show, an exploration of love, romance, relationships, and sacred sexuality. This is your invitation to dive deeper into your innermost self and strengthen the bonds of love and intimacy. Jennifer Rose is an international psychic medium, transformational guide, channel, writer, and healer. With the help of fellow trailblazers, Jennifer's mission is to combine timeless wisdom and modern spiritual awareness to transform and evolve humanity, all while encompassing healthy transformative love, epic beauty, and divine connection. Now here is your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome and good evening. And it's big again. So let's see if we can. Sorry, we lost our background again. There we go. It's back. I don't know. It's like Mercury retrograde without Mercury retrograde. So anyways, welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome to The Love Show. I'm Jennifer Rose, and we are on the Sacred Spiral Network. I did just see a couple of the pages aren't quite streaming yet, but we will get that going again. So right now you can find us over on Jennifer Rose Facebook, and we're also over on Kelly Brickle's page as well. Hello, Kelly. She's up in Oregon on a conference, and we look forward to having her return home soon. We are also on YouTube over on the Sacred Spiral Network and on Medium Jennifer Rose as well. So anyways, I'm very excited for our show tonight. We've got the wonderful and amazing Danny Santos coming to join me, and we're going to talk about love, relationships, astrology, chemistry, all of that really fun, juicy stuff too. So Danny's a fabulous astrologer. He's also a musician and just an all-around beautiful person. So I'm really excited that he said yes to doing the show with me here tonight as well too. And I want to say hi and welcome to everybody who's kind of coming on and joining us here as well. And again, I do see we're trying to get our pages re-hooked up again too. So anyways, again, thank you all for being here. And one quick announcement, everybody. We will be off the Love Show for the next 2 weeks, and then we will be back again. Next week, we have Fashionably Spiritual with myself and Miss Nancy Muratalla. And after that, I'm having a day off, and then we will be back on April 20th with the wonderful and amazing Michael Zinn and his lovely wife, Janice. So that is our next show. And then coming up this Friday is the anniversary special of Embracing Infinity, which is my sister show. Really excited. We're going on year 3. So very excited to be announcing that. So it's going to be an emotional but happy, joy-filled one as well. So thank you again for all being here too. And let's just take a breath, everybody, and think about all of the changes and all of the growth and all of the wonder and the beauty that we continue to discover on a daily basis within ourselves, all around us, and all of the people that we know and love. So let's just take a breath and take all of that in. I know the world is a bit crazy right now. The energies have been waving intensely. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. I know we're all feeling it, but let's have some faith and trust that this is all taking us in the most wonderful direction as well too. So I just felt like I needed to just kind of set the stage and just remember that you are a bright and magnificent light and that your being is infinite. right? So when you remember your infinite capacity, remember your brilliance, remember your exquisite beauty of your soul, like nothing's going to get you. You're going to be just fine as we move through these waves. And while you're at it, grab a surfboard. So there we go. We're going to make it, everybody. So I'm going to just take a minute to say hello to a few people who's joined us on here as well here. So I want to say hi to Katie. Thank you for joining us, Katie. Really good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I see Maria Scorpio 92. Hey there. Good to see you as well too. And thank you for sharing as well. Really appreciate it. And that does remind me, if you're all able to do a little hashtag live in the comments over on Facebook, share, tag, subscribe, hit that little reaction button, the little heart, the little carrot, the little wow. That helps the algorithms get going again too. So that's very helpful. So we do appreciate that. Feel free to follow any of us over on Facebook and YouTube as well, and hit the thumbs up button. So we really appreciate your love and support, and you're joining us all for that too. And thank you again. I also want to welcome Bernadette Desire. Good to see you, Bernadette. Welcome. Good to see you again. It's been a little bit, so I'm really happy that you're here. Hello, Mr. Brian Lar, my friend. Great show. Brian Lar just had his show Be in the Light right before the Love Show. And they did a fabulous show on light painting. It was just so super cool. So please do catch the replay if you weren't able to catch that one too, because it's definitely worth it too. Oh, thank you, Bernadette, too. So let's see if we can help out as we go into the astrology of love and relationships and passion and magic and chemistry and all that too. So that should be a lot of fun and uplifting and inspiring as well. Jennifer McCormick, welcome, welcome. How's my friend over from the UK? Stayed up till 2 a.m. to be with me. So I love you, girl. I got to give you hugs for that. So thank you for being here. So really happy that you're here. So welcome everybody as we're all kind of like hopping on here too. And so with that, I am pleased, excited, honored, and just so happy that my friend Danny is going to be joining us here. So let's go ahead and bring him on and get started with our magic. Hello, Danny.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. I'm so excited to have you back. You were on Embracing Infinity with me last year, and we did a fun show it was during a time in the fall, I believe, when we did kind of like an extra show on a weekday evening because there was so much going on with the planets, right? And so here we are again. So Good to have you back.
It's a pleasure. And I see Miss Nancy in the comments. Hi, Nancy.
Excellent. Hey, Nancy Maratala. How you doing, Queen? Good to see you, love. Thank you for joining us too. So I love you too. We love you all. We all love you. We all love each other. We're a big love fest. That's just how it is.
It is the love
too.
show.
So I know, right? So it was kind of funny because I was my friend Ronnie and I we were chatting last week too, and we were talking about all the shows on the Sacred Spiral Network, and he accidentally called it the sex show. I was like, no, it's the love show. It's all the same thing.
Love, okay, it's a brand.
It's all the same thing, right?
Yes.
But we have that disclaimer right at the beginning, so it's kind of sets the tone. Hello, Mr. Ed Odell. Tips taught to you, my friend, too. Ed is the producer over on Riff Nation Network too. So happy to have him with us. He's a really good support of all of us as well too. So, all right, my friend Danny, I'm going to read your bio. I know we all know you, but I still want to celebrate all of the many accomplishments and all about you, because this is all about you too. So that's wonderful. Okay, so my good friends, Mr. Danny Santos is the visionary healer and astrologer behind Santos and the Crystal Visions, where ancient wisdom meets modern spiritual practice. With over 20 years of experience in astrology, Santos offers transformative birth chart readings, spiritual life coaching, and shamanic healing infused with compassion, playfulness, and deep intuitive magic. In 2023, Santos traveled to Peru and was honored with the blessing of the Shipibo tribe, sorry if I said that wrong, to serve ayahuasca, a sacred milestone that deepened his path as a healer. A certified breathwork instructor, Reiki master, sound healer, and expert tarot educator, he is a certified platform medium through the Los Angeles Spirit Academy. Santos is also a proud graduate of USC's School of Cinematic Arts. Love that. His work has been featured in major media outlets such as New York Post, Vice, Bustle, Well and Good, BuzzFeed, and Out Front. And he's been a guest on popular podcasts, including Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin's podcast, Let's Not Talk About the Husband, and Dates and Mates with Damona Hoffman. You can find Danny on santoscrystalvisions.com. He's on Instagram and TikTok at Santos Crystal Visions, and you can find him on Facebook at Danny Santos and the Crystal Visions, I think it is. Is that right on Facebook?
Yep.
Excellent. Hello, Jill Santos.
Hello.
Speaking of Santos, there's your kin, kind of, sort of.
Yes.
And hi to Kimberly. Thanks for joining us as well, too.
And Jennifer McCormick. Hi, Jen.
I know. We have such a lovely community. Everybody's just so kind and loving and supportive of each other. And so it's like, we couldn't be any more fortunate than we are. We're truly blessed. We really are truly blessed. So,
and Maria, thank you for the compliment that I'm very cute.
You are cute, Danny.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And somebody asked if there's going to be readings tonight.
We're not doing readings, but we're talking about astrology. So if you have a question about astrology, feel free to put that in and we'll see if we can get to it. But we have so much fun information that's going to be really helpful for you too. So you may find that even more helpful than a specific message. So, but thank you for being here and stay with us because this is going to be super fabulous and fun. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started, Danny. So, you're an astrologer, you're a musician, you're an actor, all of these fabulous things. So you've been doing astrology for a long time. And part of your astrology is the relationships, like you do synastry, astrology. And so people come to you wanting to find out, like, is this my soulmate or is this person compatible for me? Things like that. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
the branch of astrology that I actually began studying when I was like 11 years old was sex, love, relationship, and intimacy astrology.
Well, how perfect.
It was
When you were 11 or 12 years old.
My
Oh
sexual
my.
awakening. I was like, how does this stuff work? Like, so
I picked the right man to come onto my show today.
That's right, the love show, baby, the love show.
I didn't even know all that. I didn't even know you started this that young.
Yeah, so that's when I began studying astrology, and it was the same time that I had my sexual awakening. So astrology truly is a tool to help us understand the astrological weather in the sky, but also the archetypal landscape that we're meeting somebody in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can you explain a little bit what synastry is? So
Yeah.
for anyone who hasn't heard of that word before.
Totally. So in astrology, there's two ways to really denote compatibility between people. The first one is drawing up the synastry chart. So the synastry is literally looking at like the synergy between two people. So
I love those words.
Right, synastry and synergy. So we think about synergy as combining two things together, and it's the joined energy that they create. So the synastry is looking at one astrological birth chart directly on top of another one. So we're going to see, like, Jennifer, I believe you're in Aries with a Taurus moon and a Sagittarius rising. Would that be correct? Oh, I think.
Oh, I don't like to give my chart out in public.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, it's too late now.
Well,
I should have told you before.
You don't have to confirm anything. I mean, so basically,
it's all good. I'm also trying to rehook up my page while you're talking. So.
That's okay. All right, so you don't have to
it's
confirm
all good,
or
my
deny.
love.
Basically, the point that I'm trying to make is I've got my sun, moon, and Mercury in Pisces. If somebody has planets in Virgo, or if they have a placement in Pisces, there's going to be some synastry there. There's a connection because there's either a conjunction, an opposition, maybe a square. The synastry is how the two charts laid on top of each other look. Then we also have what's known as a composite chart. So in astrology, the composite chart is going to reveal, if we take like person A and person B and cook them up together to create a third person between them, the two individuals are the ingredients. The composite chart is the cake that is cooked between two people. It's the destiny of the relationship.
That's amazing. And so literally it becomes like one new chart.
Yep,
too.
It's a completely new chart. And there's two ways to calculate that. There's literally the mid-space, mid-time chart. So if you were born at 9 a.m. and I was born at 11 a.m., our mid-space would be at 10 a.m.
That's so cool.
So it takes the mid-space between time, between location, between everything, and it calculates the exact midpoint of your birth in space-time between two people.
That's amazing.
So
how did they figure out how to do all that?
I don't know, but somebody figured that out. And then there's also the midpoint. Like, let's say your sun sign is 10 degrees Aries and mine is 20
Hmm.
degrees Aries. Then the composite chart, we would have a 15-degree Aries. So
Okay.
that's a different way of calculating it. So,
Okay.
so the whole
That's
point is we're finding a midpoint between two people.
I love that. I love that. Okay. And so people come to you and say, Danny, is this the one? Is this my soulmate? Are we compatible? Is there anything we can do to like make this better? And then you help them to understand why they are who they are, what they do, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Is that
Um,
correct?
absolutely. And you can see between two people a harmonious relationship, and you can see a chaotic relationship, and you can see everything in between.
All right. Now let's get to the juicy good stuff here too. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Venus and Mars and how that plays a part, right? Because
Sure.
it's like where those placements are, they tell you a lot. Would that be correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So they're going to represent different parts of the psyche, the personality, or the soul. So
Okay.
regardless if somebody's a man or a woman, we all have a Venus and a Mars.
Uh-huh.
So Venus is going to be the part of us that is like the feminine,
Hmm.
receptive part of ourselves. It's the part of us that's passive. So
Okay.
you think there's 12 archetypes, and they're going to all behave differently in Venus. Like in my chart, I have a Venus in Aries. Aries is not a very passive sign. So
No.
so my Venus is like, love me, it's like so
Uh,
that's one example of like playing against type. Whereas, so
uh-huh.
Venus is our passive, how we want to receive love. Mars is how we actually go and get what we want.
Okay.
So Venus is our social life, what we're attracted to, the kind of clothes we like to wear, the music we like, the type of food we want. And then Mars is how we actually go after that thing that we want. It's our
Okay.
desire, it's how we want to
Okay.
evolve, and it's also what we need to eliminate.
Okay. So that's one of the main things that you would look at when someone comes to you for like a relationship chart or a relationship trying to understand the relationship. You look to see like where their Mars and Venus is and how that it plays with like the other person and so forth. Would that be correct?
Well, if we're just talking about sex, love, and compatibility in the physical world, Venus and Mars play a major role in that. That shows us where we're attracted to each other. But this is really like phases 1 and 2 of a relationship.
Okay.
1, did we get started? Did we use Mars to turn the energy on? And 2,
Mhm.
did we use Venus? Like, can you accept the other person looks wise, habits wise? Like,
Uh-huh.
but Venus and
Yeah.
Mars is really just the starting point between a relationship. We have other things that are going to denote like compatibility, marriage, long-term relationship.
Yeah. And so would that have to do with like where certain things are in certain houses? Would that be correct? Like the marriage and family house and things like that?
Yeah, yeah. I think the two most important things when we're looking at compatibility between two people is, do we have happy moons in the birth chart? Are the moon
Ooh,
signs happy?
happy moons.
Yeah, because well, you got to think the moon represents our emotional fulfillment, our feelings of home, how we can really like relax into something. And
Uh-huh.
when we have the moon being happy, we get a personal sense of satisfaction when we're with that person. So that
Oh,
goes
I love
a,
that.
a really long way in compatibility.
So you look for happy moons.
Yes, you need happy moon signs, and it doesn't have to be that both moons need to be happy. It's like maybe your moon and this person's Venus are in the same part of the birth chart, so that's bringing sweetness to that
Uh-huh.
moon, connection, femininity, romance.
Yes. Yes. I
So,
love that. Oh, that's
yeah.
beautiful. All right.
So we need happy
Yeah.
moons. And then the second thing is we need compatible Jupiter energy. Something good
Okay.
needs to be going with Jupiter because Jupiter represents the philosophy of what your life is, the purpose of your life,
Okay.
what you are hoping to get out of life.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay.
if we have one person is super conservative and the other one is like a, bohemian street artist who is completely anti-government, those two might have incompatible long-term philosophies.
So
You
they
know?
might have chemistry like in phase one and two, but like long term, that may be a difficult relationship.
Oh yeah,
So they'd
maybe
have
they're freaks in the sheets together. but they're having a hard time like lifting, like try to bring the bohemian street artist into your church, and like philosophically the long term doesn't work out. Maria says sounds like me and my ex.
Oh my God. I, I, I hear you. Well, us mediums here, we're a little on the eccentric side anyways, too. So try putting us with, conservative people. And it's like, I think we would have a easier time with it than they would. So,
Yeah.
because we've had to learn to adapt and so kind of, you know, be a little shapeshifty with the different roles that we play, whereas they just had to kind of like stay the same role for like the whole time
Yeah.
too, which
So
is too funny. Yeah.
so that the Venus and Mars, that's like the hot and heavy. Like, can we get off with each other emotionally, romantically,
Uh-huh.
sexually, and otherwise? But when we think about the long-term compatibility, we need Moon and Jupiter aspects to really keep us together.
Okay. So those things are important. Have you ever seen any charts that you were like, wow, like whether it be just an individual chart or a relationship chart where you're like, damn, these people are like sexy off the charts kind of thing, where all those
Oh,
placements, like,
ooh. Some of the sexiest stuff that appears in astrology is also some of the most intense, challenging, friction-oriented stuff that we get between two people.
yeah.
So the cosmos will show us the more friction there is, the sexier the connection often goes. If you're not like killing each other, but even sometimes that's hot.
Okay, that sounds very twin flamey.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But there is the idea of like when we see high sex appeal, there's going to be some
uh-huh,
level of eighth house placements, maybe Pluto going on in the individual's
right.
birth chart. We can also
So
see
let's talk about the eighth
Scorpio.
house. Yeah,
Sure,
let's talk about the eighth house.
sure.
Take it away.
Okay. So you have to think the eighth house in astrology is the Scorpio part of the birth chart. So the seventh
So
house is
that's
going to,
the drama, the mystery,
yeah,
the sexuality, the passion, all of that. Okay.
yes. Like the seventh house is where we look for a partner. So it makes sense that that would come before the eighth house because you want to partner with
Uh-huh.
somebody. Because by the time we get to the eighth house, we're talking about sex, death, other people's money, taxes. We're getting into some more
Taxes.
yeah, some more intense territory, like the eighth house. So it's often the part of the birth chart where we're suppressing something. There's
Okay.
something that might not come easily to us. It's something that might feel out of reach, out of contact to us. But it's also something that when like the only way we can really familiarize ourselves with it is by either falling in love with it or by having sex with it.
Ah, interesting. Falling
So
in love with it or having sex with it, or
yeah,
both.
yeah. So one example is I have a client who has his eighth house is in Leo. So he continually dates Leo men, even though they're not
Hmm.
necessarily compatible for him. But
Hmm.
this is a way that he is trying to heal his ego and his self-esteem. There's like a wounded ego
Oh.
narrative going on. So he keeps dating
Hmm.
Leos, having sex with them. It's a way of trying to touch, heal, get in contact with the thing that hurts the most.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? But yet it's a thing.
Yeah. Well,
It's a thing.
there's an energy exchange that happens in the eighth house. So we think about
Yeah.
Scorpio is the sign of change, thus the eighth house takes this characteristic on. And
Hmm.
the lowest vibration of Scorpio in the eighth house are going to be death, trauma, chaos.
Right.
So we need to learn how to eliminate something. Oftentimes, orgasm is going to be le petit mort. In French, that translates to the little death. So
Oh,
the
interesting.
the eighth house is where we have to kind of pay a tax or have sex with the thing, or like that's the only way the unconscious starts to get familiar with it is by falling in
Hmm.
love with it and then making love with it.
Yeah,
And
it's like fulfilling an energy that needs to be worked out or that needs to be expressed, and
yes,
then you can let it go and move on to something else, perhaps.
well, it's Scorpio. If
Or
the highest vibration of Scorpio is going to be evolution and rebirth. So the idea is by actually getting in touch with that part of the self, you're going to hopefully heal the wound that is going on there and then like bring that eighth house part of yourself so that it evolves into something more beautiful and more powerful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's interesting in psychology, and because in psychology, it's like all about trying to get you sort of out of patterns, out of being attracted to the same person that is constantly making you unhappy. Same person, different bodies, and things like that too. But this is at least another lens we can look through it as trying to like learn the energy, understand the energy, experience the energy, and then evolve from it,
Yeah,
which
and maybe,
sometimes is better than fully just trying to avoid it, because that doesn't always work, because
yeah,
that part of the unconscious is still kind of like knocking on the door saying, I want to know about this, I want to express this too. What I love about that lens is it kind of it takes sort of the wrong out of it and puts it in another, like a more spiritual context that has a little bit more breathing room in it. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And we think like by familiarizing ourselves, by falling in love with this eighth house or making love to it, that energy, that frequency, it becomes part of us. We start to actually get a sense of like, oh, that's what this thing is. And it can either incur death, where we lose something through heartbreak or through pain, or
Hmm.
we grow beyond it and we evolve beyond it.
Interesting, interesting. I love that too. Jill is asking why she tracks friends, partners, and even parents with 12th house placements.
So the 12th house, different than the eighth house. They're both watery houses because one's ruled by Scorpio, the other's ruled by Pisces. Oh, Lynn is here. Hi,
I know
Lynn.
Lynn is here. I know.
Love
I
you,
wanted you
Lynn.
to see that. Lori's trying to help us fix our pages. So I was like, oh, let
Uh-huh.
me help with these comments here.
Yes. So we think
So,
about the 12th house as like what's completely unconscious. It's
mhm.
buried back there. So the lowest vibration of the 12th house is neglect. So Jill, if you
Ah,
keep attracting 12th house placements, the universe is trying to get your attention on like people who are neglecting you so that you have the opportunity to overcome being neglected. So that's kind of
yeah.
what's going on there. It's like a sense of
Uh,
self and like allowing the self to be seen rather than neglected.
yeah. Does that make sense for you, Jill? I hope that's helpful. And
Yeah.
Lynn's sending you rainbows and sunshine and angel
Oh,
wings.
so cute.
I love
So
that. I love that too. And so, yeah, hello to Lynn and everybody else who's joined us. I see Debbie's here as well. And hello to Jill Santos is here too. So, all right. So, and you were talking about like what we actively suppress, right? And so that's
yeah,
what we were kind of speaking at, is like suppressing is always going to cause a need to express. Like you can only,
yes. The eighth house
yes.
is very Freudian. It's got that like the more you repress it, the more it comes out and really weird and
Yeah,
unusual.
the more it chases you, what you run from will chase you. And it's like,
So
I
true.
know this lesson, but I still have to keep, and you're rubbing your nose with that too. So it's like, that's an important, what you run from will chase you,
Oh
everybody.
my
I know this
gosh.
lesson too. And then, but still I have to remind myself of my own expression. See, here we go.
I know, I know. Oh my
So our
gosh.
own subconscious is speaking to us.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So
So
that's
Jill
too.
says she's working on it. You go, girl. Like, it's the soul's lesson to be dealing with those 12th house placements and just say, like, you know what? I really deserve more. I deserve to be seen. I deserve to not be ignored. It's something to help
Yeah,
you transcend. That's what the 12th house highest
yeah,
vibration.
yeah. What's interesting is there can be some illusions, because I've learned something earlier today through another experience that I had with somebody else, is that sometimes when you feel like you're the one who's invisible because of neglect, it really, like, there's an opposite viewpoint. It's that the people who were neglecting you, um, perhaps they're the ones who were not fully, because they were not fully present, they were actually the ones who were kind of unseen versus the person who's experiencing the neglect. So it was like this, it's like almost like the reflection is like getting to the truth of what the actual reflection was telling you. Does that make sense?
Totally. And you have to think
Yeah.
you can only give what you've been given.
Yeah.
So if these people are showing up like in Jill's life and neglecting her, then that's because
Yeah.
they were neglected. And Jill, that makes you the archetypal it's kind of Scorpio energy to change it and say like, well, I'm
Yeah.
realizing what's happening. I don't want to be neglected, and I don't want to
And
neglect anybody
she's right, and she's the one who actually is visible because of it too. So it's interesting to see. Yeah, and it's so we live in such smoke and mirrors, but once you figure out how it's all played out, then you can start to like see like in between the lines and in through the mirror and see where the distortions are and like get to this other place and you're like, oh, I never looked at it that way. So super interesting too. But yeah, that fascinated me when had that realization earlier and I was like, wow, too. So okay. We're going to move on to, let's see here, the 4 styles of intimacy.
Ooh. So when we talk about the 4 styles of intimacy, have you ever heard of Dr. Helen Fisher before?
No, but I'm intrigued.
Okay, so Dr. Helen Fisher did all of these, like tons of research on the brain and love, and
Yeah.
how the brain like just really activates and resonates and goes crazy when we fall in love, to the point where you're walking in the parking lot and you see your loved one's car in the parking lot and your heart starts beating because their car is different than
Yeah.
everybody else's car all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So the brain lights up. And what Dr. Helen Fisher did was, by researching the brain, she started categorizing all of these different personalities that come up as the brain starts falling in love. And to the point where she actually like developed a dating website. Chemistry.com is based on the research and the brain scans that show up between people. And it shows that people with specific chemistries are more compatible with each other. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Wow. I'd love to see what my brain looks like because I know like you've done my chart and you're like, oh yeah, your chart's all about love, and big surprise, everybody, right? Everyone calls me the queen of love, right? So big surprise that my chart shows that too. But I'm like, I wonder what my brain looks like when it
Yeah. Well, on chemistry.com, this is not a paid partnership, by the way, but we should get on that, Jennifer.
Okay.
It's a subscription-based website. They have you answer all of these questions, and based on how
Uh-huh.
you answer the question, it shows what the likelihood of your brain's predominant chemistry is. Based on your
Okay.
personality, it's going to reveal like you got this kind of chemistry going on a deeper level.
Oh, ours would be so fun.
I know. Maybe we should just like talk about that a lot next time. Like we can do yours and then compare it, and like
Yeah,
what
that,
would
that
you
would
think
that,
out, you know?
that would be super fun. Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm down for that. I'm down for that too.
Okay,
Okay.
amazing.
And so is this also what has to do with like the elements too, or is that a separate topic from Helen
No,
Fisher?
so Dr. Helen Fisher,
Okay.
she categorized it by understanding that there's 4 main chemicals in the brain that denote personality and who we tend to fall in love with. Now,
So
as a professional,
oxytocin,
yes,
right?
dopamine, serotonin,
Mm.
testosterone, and then estrogen and oxytocin. So I guess
Okay. What
5.
about like vasopressin too?
Oh,
Vasopressin and oxytocin.
I
Um,
don't know about vasopressin. I'll have to.
they're more of the bonding hormones versus dopamine, which is
Mm,
more of the instant fix, the gratification, the chase
got
hormone, the
it.
trying to get gratified. And so that's why you need to go from the dopamine into the oxytocin and vasopressin, because that's where the actual bonding happens too. So if you get hooked up on dopamine, you're always like it's like getting drunk and then needing to detox.
Yeah.
But if you get your other ones in play too, then you're able to have a more stable, long lasting thing happening.
Okay. So
Hi, Heidi.
vasopressin.
Vasopressin, I believe. Yeah, I'm
Vasopressin.
not expert in those, but that's just through my own, looking around into stuff.
Okay.
So,
Well,
but yeah,
based as an astrologer, I took all of that information and I was like, girl, this is just astrology, just translated into chemistry.
that's so
So,
cool.
yeah. So I have 2 friends of mine, Nadej from Pleasure Science, and then another friend, Lisa Ryder from Genius Loci Agency. The 3 of us put on an event called the Erotic Cosmos. And then we put all of the attendees in the event in order based on their 12 signs of the zodiac. And I described this is what this element looks for in love, and so on and so on. And we had like a real live discussion with the audience about like, all right, fire signs, they are dopamine seekers. Like more than anything, they're the people that are like, let's jump out of a plane together. Let's like go have fun. Take a cooking class. Well, no, that doesn't sound adventurous enough. Go on a safari. go rock
Cooking
climbing.
classes are fun. I like cooking classes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
that's
a
true.
fire sign.
All right,
I can do cooking classes.
all right, all
Yeah.
right. But it's got to be like
Chocolate.
a fun cooking
Yeah,
chocolate.
chocolate.
Going to a
Yeah.
candy store, So our
I do
fire
like to
signs.
go to candy stores.
There you go. Our fire signs are our dopamine seekers. So
Interesting. Okay.
more than
I
anything,
would put that in water signs. I would have given that to water signs because they're kind of dramatic. You know,
oh my God, as a
you
Pisces, yes.
you Pisces, you Scorpios, you just oh my, I would call you the dopamine seekers.
Yeah. Nancy says there's fire with cooking, period.
Yeah,
That's right,
that
Nancy. All right,
she's
so
not
maybe
wrong.
cooking
She's
cooking class would work for our fire sign.
but just
Um,
yeah. I'm gonna
but
hold back on that one.
but we also think
I just got all
playmate.
these ideas when Nancy's
Yes. The
just like
fire signs
down girl.
need they need a playmate more than anything else. They need somebody
Okay,
who they can adventure with, let the inner child roar, play, go on the motorcycle, get in
that's
the
true.
merry-go-round. Like they need to
Yeah.
have fun.
I love to have fun. I love to play. Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah.
And there
Because
are most
your inner children want adventure. They want to do fun things. They want to have experiences
yeah,
and like experience life as if it was for the first time. Kind of
yeah,
like that, the wow, the wonder, the awe, the magic of it all, you know?
yes. And our fire signs are it's ruled by the solar plexus chakra. So they need a
Yeah.
partner who can hold their own. Like they don't
Yeah.
want to be like forcing you to stand. They want you to like have the energy and the ability to have fun on your own and come join me along for the ride.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny because my solar plexus, that's my strongest, my heart obviously, but that's the one that I feel the most is my solar plexus. Like that's always
Yes.
going,
Yeah.
giving me,
Well,
giving me, information about my environment. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Adrenaline
Evelyn's
junkies.
Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn. Good to see you.
We also think fire signs are the most passionate lovers of the zodiac. The
Mm.
element of fire is the element of passion.
Yeah.
So,
Funny, I'm doing the love show with all the little fire.
yeah, we got our fires in the house, you know? So,
Nancy, Nancy's a Leo, so she's got her fire going on too. So
yes, she is. And then I have my Venus in Aries, so I typically fall in love with my Aries men.
oh my. Oh
So,
my. Venus and Aries.
yeah. It's why we get along too. Remember, Venus is also our social nature. It's what we like, you
Right.
know?
And that's my
So,
moon too, right? So that makes sense too. And yeah, well, you
yeah,
know where my Mars and Venus are. Don't tell anybody, but
the secret. All right. So then we go to our Earth signs.
okay.
So we talk about Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. These are going to be more serotonin based individuals,
Ah, so
you
kind of
know?
like happy, um, calm, those
Yeah.
kinds of things. Yeah.
They like opposite of passion, the word for them is stability. They
Mhm.
want love and sex that's routine. They want a partner who they can rely on, that can help them get their life and their work and their job done. They want a teammate. That's the word that Dr. Helen Fisher gives to the serotonin people. They're looking for somebody to help them build,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that's me
So,
too, even though I'm a fire sign. So
well, there's a different part. I thought your moon was a different sign, so
no, it's in Taurus, so that's
yeah,
correct.
which
That's
was an
that's the
earth
Earth
sign.
sign. That would
Yeah,
make sense.
yeah.
Yes, I guess
So
that's why I like that a little bit of that. Yeah,
so you
that makes
need
sense.
passion and predictability. You
True.
know, you want somebody who's
Mhm.
going to stick around and they love you and there's like an intense connection.
So consistency and passion.
Yes, consistency
That's
is
true.
great for our earth signs. Like they need to know what's
Mhm.
coming next because they're trying to build something that stands
Uh-huh.
over a long period of time.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Okay. Beautiful. Are we
Yeah.
doing water or air next?
Air signs next.
Ooh, air signs. Okay. So this
So
is Aquarius and Libra
Gemini,
and
Libra.
Gemini.
Yeah. So our air
Oh, those
signs.
Geminis are
Oh,
oh
so
my.
sexy. I love them.
There- there- there's just so many of you in there.
I know, girl. So we think because they're so cerebral, they're mental, they're often going to run higher in testosterone. What we'll notice
Interesting.
with Libra women is they're very balanced in their masculine and feminine. We've got
That
Aquarius as
makes
these
sense.
super high level intellectuals, Gemini, like that can be oftentimes a very masculine, but it's also a very queer archetype too. So we're going to get either hyper masculine or the divine queer kind of energy.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
E-
So
Whenever I run into Aquariuses, they're always creative and they're always attractive.
yes, they're charismatic, they're brilliant, they're
Hmm.
different, and they're oftentimes unavailable for one reason or another. In my opinion, Aquarius is the most difficult sign of the zodiac to date, not because their personalities are difficult, but because they are fixed on their freedom.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, they sure are good looking and creative, though.
Mhm. It's
So
like the
give them that much.
Amazonian. Yeah, they're like
They
people
really
from
are.
the future. So, oh my God,
They got
Lynn
that.
says, found on a restroom wall for a good for a good time. Call Gemini's. So, but Geminis are looking with
Oh,
this kind
God.
of mental, cerebral energy. They're looking for a mind mate. They're looking for somebody who can checkmate them, who can oppose them, who can entertain them, who wants to talk about the news, politics, what's going on in the
Mhm,
world, points of view, debate topics, read books together and talk about them. They have a mental aspect about them.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I get it's very like because I'm very mercurial, so I understand, even though I'm not that sign, I understand what
Yeah,
that's like to need that mental stimulation to be able to have that high level conversation and like break things down into details and like go in between the lines into the meanings behind the meanings behind the meanings. That's
yeah,
really fun. That's
yeah,
like cerebral philosophize. Ooh,
yeah.
it's so yummy.
It is yummy, but
It's
also
so
the philosophy. Fire signs can dig philosophy. They don't want straight up
yummy.
facts. They want to take the ideas and then like turn it their own.
Mhm. Yeah, I studied philosophy in college, but I I switched over to liberal arts just because it was more well-rounded for me too. But
Yes.
I've always loved philosophy. When the first class I took just to fill a general ed category, and I'll make this super quick, the teacher was so like bummed out because he's like, "You all are just taking this because you have to." And then there was this me and this other dude, and we went up to the teacher and we love this class. We love learning about this stuff. And he just lit up like that. Like somebody
Aww.
actually wants to learn philosophy.
Yes.
So-
Well, and philosophy actually falls under the fire signs.
I love
Mhm.
that. I
So
love
fire
that.
and air are often very compatible because they're ideas and it's exciting and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
So because they make the, you know, their
yes.
their combustion.
Absolutely. So we think our last signs are water signs. Hello, present. Got my sun, moon, and Mercury in Pisces, Mars in Cancer, and my midheaven in Pluto and Scorpio.
Oh
So
my gosh, Danny.
I know, it's like my chart is like 60% water.
Oh
So
my god.
we think our water signs, these are estrogen heavy individuals. And even though I'm a
You
man,
feel, you
yes,
feel, you feel so intensely.
yes, and our
Yeah.
emotions we can either feel or we flood, you know? So we
Well,
understand
let's talk
that.
about the flooding because that's a thing that's a
Right.
thing to get flooded because then you need to isolate
Yes,
because of the fear of intimacy gets in
yes,
there, right? That you have the dopamine flood, right? And then all of a sudden you need to like that's why you get drunk and then you have to detox, right? And so it's like learning how to that's I think mastering that is learning how to manage those emotions and sit with the flood so that you can have more oxytocin and vasopressin.
yes.
There we
Well, and our
go.
our water signs are estrogen and oxytocin. So these are our feelers, they're our intuitives,
Uh,
emotional
mhm.
mediums, psychic,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. There's going to be strong moon and Jupiter
Mhm.
things going on with these people oftentimes. They're looking for a soulmate, you know.
Uh-huh.
Complete me.
The one.
Yeah. The one. There's only
Unt
one.
until I find the next one, and
Well,
you're the one.
yeah, exactly. So, but our water signs, we're looking for soulmate connection. That's what we want more than everything. Hi,
I
Kim.
can.
Oh, nice to have
I
you.
know, we're all like, "Kim is here."
Yes.
Too. it's so sweet. They're all saying hi to each other. Hi, Elliot.
Hi,
Elliot's my
Elliot.
Elliot's my friend from over here in Southern California. He's a musician too, like you, Danny, too.
We should
Really good
connect, Elliot.
guitar
Oh,
player, singer. He sings for the spiritual church in his area too. He's fabulous. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So I'm glad that you guys are on the same, in the same space here together. Lynn
Yeah.
is saying Pisces, Sun, and Mercury and Venus, Taurus, Moon rising. Ooh,
Oh,
that's
so
that's yummy, Lynn.
she needs a soulmate who she can predict, like she can rely upon.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
got to be love and intimacy, but also predictability.
She has that with James. That's her soulmate too. She
Beautiful.
literally has her soulmate. She's very
Oh,
blessed.
yeah, you are blessed, Lynn. The rest of us
Yeah.
out here raw dogging life.
He's the nicest man. He adopted me. So I
Oh,
get to call him Daddy-O.
hey.
He adopted me as his daughter.
Oh, Nancy says she's a Leo with an Aquarius. Needed some taming and grooming, but nothing we couldn't achieve, and it only took 40 years.
Where is that?
You
Okay,
go,
here it is too.
girl.
See, that's why she's so beautiful. She's got that Aquarius in
Yes.
her too.
Well, I believe
Yeah.
Nancy is the Leo. And is she with an Aquarius
She's
or she has
she's a
Aquarius?
Leo here with an Aquarius. I thought she meant maybe she had Aquarius rising, but maybe she's saying her husband is Aquarius.
Yeah,
She
I
might be,
think.
she's probably talking about her husband.
Okay. And those are opposite
Yeah.
signs. So
So
there's a
I
big
just got
compatibility.
confused. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it worked. 40 years they've been together. See, there's always
Yes.
hope. See?
Not
Look
only
at
is there
that. She's
hope.
like, I did it. I tamed him. I tamed the untamable. And we
Yes.
did it.
Oh, Lynn's husband is a Capricorn. All right, so she's got somebody predictable and stable.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
she
know?
has it too. So
Oh my God.
okay. All right. Yeah. Again, everybody, I know that we're a few pages short over on Facebook, so hopefully you've just all found us by now. So wherever we are is where we're remaining for the evening. So thanks for being there with us too. So that the energy, the cosmic energies, there we're hitting some waves of ascension. Colin and I talked about that last week a couple times, and I don't want to get too off subject, but like it hit again today. Like there was one last week,
Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, and then there's another one that hit today, and I'm just like, wowza, like things
Yeah.
are changing. So
Well, and Jennifer, you and I have been talking about some personal transformations I've been going through.
wow,
People
yeah.
are the underbelly of the unconscious and frequencies that we no longer need to carry are being
Mhm.
exposed.
Yeah,
There's
there's
an
this big
explosion.
rift. Yeah, there's this like big rift in the fabric of reality, and it's like that's why a lot of us are feeling very detached from it right now too. And it's like usually you can get yourself back in, but it's not that easy anymore. It's like once you've kind of it's very strange. Well, you're going to be on Embracing Infinity in a few weeks, so we'll get more. We'll talk more about
Yeah.
that. But oh my gosh, because yeah, we need an astrology show on that too.
Oh my gosh, that would be really fun. Well, and the
Yeah,
astrology of April is crazy.
is it? And we're almost in
Yes.
April. That's like
Yes.
Wednesday.
Oh my God. We're gonna have 6 planets
Yikes!
in Aries.
No wonder we're in this war. Everyone's fighting,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh my God, that's a lot of fire. But fire is transformation. Fire is rebirth. Fire is burning the old down to make room for the new. Why I keep saying we're going to have a renaissance. I've been saying that since last year. So I don't think I'm wrong because I'm
Yeah.
psychic.
Well, and they talk about 2027 being the year of the dragonfly's dream and how humanity is going to be rebirthed into the higher dimension, going into the 5th dimension. Like,
I had that in my dream last week. It was like it was a dragonfly or a firefly. I wasn't sure it was in my dream, and it was big, massive one, and
whoa.
it came down and landed, but it kind of scared me a little because at first I thought it was this fairy, and I was like, no, it's like a dragonfly or a firefly. But then it kind of got a face and started doing cartwheels, so it had a little bit of trickster energy in there. So then I was
Uh-huh.
in my dream, I was like, I don't know about that.
Oh my
But now
God.
that you're saying it, I'm like, maybe it wasn't so bad.
Well,
Maybe
I,
that's
I
going to heal. Yeah,
I'm
that's so
really
interesting.
hoping it's just like the universe is going to be like, gotcha, everybody. Like, I know this has been really bad, but here's like I don't know, all of you individually waking up as a collective, and now it's going to heal.
Yeah, there's a lot of cosmic humor. I might use another word, but I'll just use the word humor for now.
Sure.
It's just like Should I just say it? There's a lot of cosmic fuckery going around. It doesn't make any sense, and it's driving us mad. So there it is. I
Oh my
said it.
God.
I
Period.
said it.
Oh my God.
And I know you all know what I'm talking about. So, all right. All right. We're going to go. Let me see. Let me help us get caught up with the comments here, too. We're going to. Heidi grew up in Burnsville. Interesting. She's in Boulder, Colorado now, too. So that's interesting with all of the fire energy, too. Oh, Debbie's wanting to know, what is she besides a Taurus? I think we'd have to kind of look that up, Debbie. So I don't know if we have time to do charts right now, too. But thank you for being here, though. I really appreciate that you're here, too. Okay, and let's see. And Heidi's saying hello to everybody. All right, I think Brian is saying hello to everybody too. Brian's super fabulous. He's a wizard, literally, and
Oh, hello,
he does
Brian.
telekinesis.
Cool.
He does telekinesis, and he did it on our show on Friday. He had this empty thing, and he had salt materialize into it without putting the salt in there, and he can spin all these rods around and move them at the same time, going in different directions.
I've been
That's
seeing
so
a lot
cool.
of people on Instagram and social media like telekinetically moving things with their mind, and it's amazing.
Yeah, yes, Nancy's confirming it's her husband who's the Aquarius.
Aquarius with a sad rising. I
Sag
think
rising moon.
he meant Sag, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Such truth. That's
Oh,
why
and
we
of
get
course,
along, Brian. We have the same rising sign. Him and I are
yeah.
getting along really well. We just got to be friends.
Well, and of course, Brian is telekinetic with an Aquarius. Like those Aquariuses can always move things with their mind.
That makes
It's
sense.
all of the telekinetics that I follow online are Aquarius.
You can't make this stuff up, can you?
No,
Like,
no,
it's
but
just
it's
so
because
cool.
like the universe says you can't do that, and they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to do what I'm doing. It's
Yeah.
so rebellion and Aquarian.
I was just saying that to my friend Colin, because he studies all the star seeds and the energies and things like that. And I'm like, things are not going to follow the rules anymore. We're going to be like looking for all of these tools to find answers, and they're not going to follow the rules. It's like there's going to be a whole nother paradigm shift where we have to find new ways of understanding reality too. Like it's going to be a trip. So everybody just buckle up and hang on to your minds.
We're going through it, I'll tell you that.
Oh my gosh. Like, yeah, too. So, okay. Evelyn was married to a Gemini. That's spicy, Evelyn.
Notice she
Okay.
said married in the past.
Yeah. I think he's gone to spirit world, if I'm correct, too. So, but she was married to a Gemini too. So, okay. We love you, Evelyn. Thanks for being here, my darling. And so, there's a little bit of conversation going back and forth here too.
She said
But
he's on the other side. So
yeah.
I hope my comment wasn't disrespectful.
No, not at all. Not at all. She's like, he's dead. So I think Evelyn is fine.
Okay.
She's not oversensitive. It's all good.
Okay.
So, Evelyn, you're so funny. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. Oh dear. Should we go there? Should we go to twin flames?
Oh, let's go.
That's got to be the spiciest part of your work when it comes to charts. All right. Let's talk about the twin flames. God help us all.
Well, let's start with like the idea of the twin flame. Like, where does it come from? So some people might call it the myth of the twin flame. But I have a little write-up here that I'm just going to read so that I can get all the information perfect. So the idea of twin flames is often traced back to Plato's dialogue, Symposium. In Symposium, the playwright Aristophanes tells a myth that humans were originally whole beings with 4 arms, 4 legs, and 2 faces. Fearing their power, Zeus split the twins in half, condemning each person to spend their life searching for their other half. This longing for reunion is said to be the origin of deep romantic and soul-level connection, what modern spirituality calls the twin flame.
He's not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Elliot says a lot of material here for new songs.
Right. It's basically like 2 ends of the spectrum of like how beautiful it can be and how tragic it can be. Yeah. So that like what you wrote, what you read there, like really describes that too. Like that's and that seems to be what most a great portion of novels and movies and things are all kind of like based on that theme, which is interesting too. So, what do you look for when you find that in a chart? Like, um, or if
Yeah,
people are wanting to know, is this my twin flame or is this my soulmate? Chances are they know by the time they're asking you.
right.
But yeah, so what are like aspects that would like trigger that for you to go, okay, so you got your north and south node, right?
Yeah, North and South Node. Now, there's an astrologer who I absolutely adore, who I've watched her
Mm-hmm.
videos for like the last 12 years. Her name's Jewel Mayberry.
Mm-hmm.
She made a video about the twin flames, and like 10 minutes in, she's like, do twin flames actually exist? I don't think so. So she doesn't believe that twin flames can be found in astrology. I believe that we can find really intense things that can point towards what gives us the twin flame experience.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, the north and the south node, this is where we're having destiny up here.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I believe I had two twin flames in this lifetime, and one of them we had opposite nodes. So my north node was on his south node, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa.
Yeah.
So the intensity, the passion, the love, the love making, everything, like it's so much more intense because what one person has, the other person's trying to become, and vice versa. So
Interesting.
it fits our symposium myth of the two heads, four arms, four
Mm-hmm.
legs, and being split,
Right. Yeah. Um,
So
blessings to that lady, but if you haven't been in one, then you'll typically, people who haven't been in one will say they don't exist.
yeah, well,
It's like
I bet you she probably has. Knowing Jewel, like she's had a love affair too. She's savvy to it.
I mean, yeah, I don't mean any offense or disrespect. It's just I've noticed if you haven't been in one, it's hard to understand like what that's like because
Oh
it's such
yeah,
like it's such a, like a paranormal, like, more, yeah, more
larger than life,
madness.
intense,
Yeah.
transformative. So that was the first
Yeah.
one that I felt like was a true twin flame. My other half.
Yeah.
Then the
Yeah.
other person that I had it, his moon sign was on my south node.
Uh-huh.
So that twin
Ah,
energy, like the twin signing up to put his moon on my south node to help my soul evolve, so that I
yeah.
could eventually part away from him in this lifetime. Only a
Okay.
twin, only somebody who loves you that much would sign up to be on the receiving end of you moving beyond them, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know if
It's
we reune with the twin flame in this lifetime necessarily, because the
yeah.
twin flame dynamic is the most painful experience that we can have with another person because our feelings of love, intimacy, attachment, and desire, the unconscious obsession, is activated so much that the entire operating board of the individual is uprooted.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. Um, it's interesting. Like I said, it's just so equally like beautiful and tragic because I don't see a lot of them actually end up together.
It's true.
Or one of them passes away. And it's, yeah, see, and you're rubbing your nose.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can
Well,
let you-
and Bill says she
and
had the opposite nodes,
yeah,
you know?
Pisces North Node, and he was a Virgo North Node.
So they were doing the song and dance, always
Yeah,
learning from each other.
the cosmic dance. Yeah. Um, I'm curious because last year, and this may have something to do with, I think it was Neptune left Pisces and then went into Aries
Yep.
and then went back into Pisces for just a short while and then it
And
went
now
back into
back into
Aries again.
Aries
But when it went into Aries, and now it's stayed in Aries for a while, so I don't think that's a good thing.
for like 14 years. We're here.
God, God help. But there was a lot of breakups last year. Like
Yep.
all the twin flames were breaking up, and the ones who were together were miserable, and so on and so on and so on. And it's just like, why, but that's what like it's in alignment. So that's an important thing with the twins is that it seems to very much follow astrology. So if you want to know why you're in the phase that you're in, it's because you're probably aligning with whatever the astrology is doing universally and in your own charts. Would that be
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. As above,
Yeah.
so below, as the Hermetic law states. So
Yeah.
what's going
Yeah.
on in the world, not to bring, the darkness too far into this, but what we're seeing with the e-files, if you know what I'm referring to,
Oh yeah.
that exposure happening there, those kinds of exposures happen under the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So the way in which we're seeing that happening in the world, in the masses, on the individual level, people are having the thing that has been under the surface, repressed, pushed down, that is running their operating system, is actually coming up so that it can get out.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
not in proper alignment.
Right. This is why Carl Jung says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life,
And
and
you'll
you will
call it
call it
fate.
fate.
Yep.
Right. What you run from will chase you. Yeah.
Yes.
How long do we have this Saturn conjunct Neptune that's causing all this exposure?
Well, it's the aspect typically lasts, I want to say about a year and a half. Because by the time, like,
Okay.
Saturn takes about 3 years to move through one sign, whereas Neptune takes 14. So you have to
Uh-huh.
think they're only really that close together for a pretty short amount of time. And then the longer that it goes, the further they're going to separate from each other because the movements are just different
hmm
speeds.
hmm
So, but I mean,
It's
oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say what it's causing is, I mean, I'm quite actually pleased with the exposure that's happening in the world. I know it's making people incredibly sad and upset, but like I've I've always said, it's like you have to bring everything into the light. You have to unbury the bones in order to heal them. So until we actually look at it, so a year ago, we people would not be able to use some of the words that we're using now, like in regards to the Epstein files and things. Like,
Mhm.
people are actually using the right words to describe like what's happening too. And,
Yes.
and so people aren't doing this anymore. They're actually looking at it.
Yep.
So, and that's a good thing. I know it's hard on the heart. It's heartbreaking, but we need to look at, so exposure is actually a good thing, but it's causing this mass disillusionment, which is a huge dark night of the soul. I
Yes.
think it's a little surprising because we all thought we are going into the age of Aquarius and we were going to be all like, let's all love each other now. We're in
The
the age of
dawning
Aquarius.
of the
It's all
age of Aquarius. But no, it's
God's
not.
just all over. And I'm like, no, no, there's more. No,
If
no.
you want the love and light, Aquarius is the sign of enlightenment, which means you have to break open the underbelly and literally expose light everywhere.
Yeah.
All that is in the underbelly is being forced to be exposed. And whether the
Right.
elites of this planet are doing this on purpose as some kind of psychological operation, or the universe, God, the cosmos, whatever's running the system is saying we're in the age. It's time to clean house. We got to
It
look at
feels
it
more
now.
like the latter. It feels
Yeah.
like the latter. I could literally see kind of in the collective consciousness grid, like this like rift happening, and it was just going like this. And it's making me kind of wondering what's happening, because people have been talking about like two Earths or new Earth or these kinds of
Yeah.
things. But I get it. It's like
Dolores Cannon.
there's a reality. I think they're not talking about like literally two separate Earths, but that may be of what they thought they were seeing. But how I'm like looking at it now as we get more information with time, is it's like as if these two realities are literally overlaid in the same plane.
Yeah.
And so it's like these two separate realities are overlaying in the same plane, and now people are trying to figure out which one they want to be in, if that makes sense
Yeah.
too. But eventually they have to converge together, which causes all of this friction and destruction and transformation and everything too. So
Yes. And the way
see,
that
I
this
got a
all
little philosophical on you.
period. Well, the way that
Yeah.
this all ties in is if we're going to find our twin flame or our soulmate or whatever, however you want to define the real correct love of your life, this level of exposure, what's happening on the individual level right now, is
Mhm.
so important because of what the soul is purging.
Yeah,
What's been going on with those files over the last who knows how many years since the dawn of time. It
exactly.
it's the perfect thing to have as we are beside it, to say like that's being exposed and like what's being exposed within me that then allows me to step into the role of enlightenment, to liberate myself, to free myself.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
might be dark what's being shown, but
Mhm.
as above, so below. Where is that same level of darkness being exposed
As
within?
within, so without. Yeah. As
Yes.
within, so without, as above, so below. Yeah. And um, it's interesting. And I know we'll try to get back on topic, but it's like, um, the these what we see happening, they're all on frequencies, right? And it's like it's just like it's the way those frequencies are being played out, if that makes sense too.
Yeah.
And so what I'm feeling like is like because we've got this like lifting out of density that's happening, so this really is our new reality. But in order to lift out of density, we have to transmute and transform these frequencies, so that we're living in a more like healthy, integrated manner to get to enlightenment, right? Too. And so it's like I think those frequencies they played themselves out in every which way that they can play them, and now it's like it's time to put them to bed. Like if that makes sense, and
Yeah.
transfer them.
Well, we're
Oh
seeing people maybe
my
leaving
gosh.
religious structures that they've been a part
Hmm.
of for a long time, or
Hmm.
maybe they haven't been, but there's still an old sweeping narrative there. People
Yeah.
coming to terms with their sexuality, either in a more
Yeah.
authentic and honest way, or like
Hmm.
confronting it for the very first time. There's
Yeah.
ideas about where people should live, what they should do for work, who they're married to, like the
Hmm.
philosophy, the more Jupiterian side of things. And
Yeah.
then our friendships, relationships, romantic relationships, familial relationships,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, so all of that is on the table right now too.
Yep.
So so we have a year and a half of this Saturn placement, and it started when?
Uh, Gosh, this Saturn Neptune conjunction started earlier this year. I believe it was either January 27th ish or
That's
February 15th. It was like one of those two dates.
all right. I think it's the January. So a year and a half. So we're into like halfway through 2027 before.
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
lot of
I think it'll, the that's when it started. So we're going for another little bit, but
all right. All right. God help us all.
God help us all.
Right. So Jennifer was talking about she's like saying sometimes people misinterpret the twins as like karmic partners too. But so if you can look at a chart, like a soulmate relationship would look a little bit differently. It would look less intense, or a karmic relationship would look have a different intensity or a different kind of pattern to it. Would that be correct?
When we think about the soulmate connection between two people, can you repeat the question? Because I was reading
Um,
Brian's comment here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And we can put it out here too. Saturn, Neptune went perfect conjunction on the first
First
day
day
of
of Aries.
Aries,
Yeah.
which was March 20th or 21st.
20. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, right around there.
it was Friday. I know it was a Friday too. So, oh, that's crazy. Like, that's a crazy placement.
Hmm.
Like,
The beginning
that's
of Aries. Yes. So what was your question? I'm so sorry. I was like,
okay. So, when it comes to like the relationship kind of things like too, so where people put the twin flames is often differentiated from a soulmate relationship or a karmic relationship too,
yeah.
because soulmates tend to be have less intensity. It's the way I describe a twin is like they're literally on the same frequency, they have the exact same spot on the radio dial, but a soulmate is just like one or two ticks off, they're still really close. Or it's like that leaf on a tree, like Brian Weiss would talk about, you're either the same leaf, but a soulmate's like right next to you. It's like really,
Mm,
really close. So
yeah.
there's still a lot of yummy stuff happening there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it's a different pattern. So I'm just
Right.
wondering if that shows up in the charts when you're looking at them. Like these are definitely your two are definitely like linked together, but it's not you don't not as much of the red.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Mm,
Well, I think
yeah.
the red will oftentimes reveal, I guess it's a combination of things like the red and the blue. And when I say those terms, that's talking about positive aspects between two people versus
Hmm.
friction aspects, blue being positive, red being
Yeah.
friction. You got to look at the entire chart, what's going on in the individual charts and between the two. And what is the purpose of that person coming into somebody's life? Because the twin flame is somebody who you will fall madly in love with, who you feel like completes you in every single way, and yet you cannot be together. And the purpose of the twin flame is you sign up for that as a way of having the soul literally, like your heart, destroyed so that you can gain the love and the growth and the power that comes after the result of that.
Hmm.
So, and we can see that in a in a birth chart between two people, like
again and again and again. And
yes,
again
the
and
destruction, the intensity, like how much do you want to come back for more?
again. Yeah.
So versus the soulmate is going to be a really happy dynamic between two people. It's typically easier. There's less obsession involved in the relationship. The
Mm-hmm.
individuals feel like, wow, this is so easy. I've never had to fight for this like I've always had to fight for this, and it just is so effortless with this person. That's typically more of a soulmate chart, and that's
Yeah.
where we're seeing like the moon Jupiter stuff happen, because it's like, oh, we can like exist and we have the same emotional fulfillment and the same philosophy of what our life is about.
Yeah.
Whereas the karmic, that's maybe more when I was discussing my ex who his moon was on my south node and he helped me remove something. He helped me move some bad karma.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
So
sense. What I love about looking at it this way too is it takes the feeling of it takes the feeling of wrongness and blame out of it, and just it just shows us like another lens. And like I said, when you look through it with the astrological lens, it just gives you more breathing room.
yeah.
Like, and I remember when you first looked at my chart, you're like, oh, you've got that, and you've got that, and you've got that. And it was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, wow, so nothing really went wrong. It was
Mm,
hard, but it wasn't wrong, because like it was like it was part of the plan, or it was part of the blueprint
yeah.
to and they'll let you breathe.
Yeah.
So everybody, you can contact Danny and get your chart done, and he's pretty fabulous if you couldn't
Oh,
tell already too.
well, and
So
it's really
yeah.
important to state on this matter. At the end of the day, all of us go to heaven. We all go, or to source, or whatever you want to call it. We all go back to the
Yeah.
place where we're from, and we
Right.
get to keep our individuality, but we also are still part of that oneness. It's like we're all leaves, like you were talking about on the tree. So
Yeah.
we're all part of that. But like the person who is your twin flame, even if you separate, you're never truly ever apart from the one that you love, because we all go back to love no matter what at the end of this game.
Yeah. I wish
So
that could make us feel better, but
well, it hurts now, but in eternity or on the other side or whatever, like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
more
yeah.
like,
You got to be human for how many more years?
yeah, and then once you're done being human, you're like, let's do it again.
Oh God, what are you thinking?
Yeah, let's plan
Right?
a new thing.
Sorry, it's my little Jennifer Rose humor. So I want to say hi to everybody who's joined us. Debbie Ontiveros has joined us as well too. If there's anybody else, please hello to you. Hello, Shubli. She's new to the channel from California.
Oh,
Welcome, welcome,
Jubilee,
welcome to our
Patrick.
family. So happy you're here. Yeah. Evelyn has a question about the raging solar activity along with the meteorites.
Mm.
I
So
don't know.
I don't know too much about it either. It sounds like Evelyn might know more than we do, but
Yeah.
typically what a lot of people are talking about is like these solar flares that are happening that are
Yeah.
like causing us to go into the new higher dimensional realms.
Yeah, it's the solar again. That's more fire. It's sun. It's fire. It's more intensity. It's burning.
Yeah,
You know, it's just
turning
burning
up the
everywhere.
volume.
Good night, Kim. We love you. She's
Love you,
3 hours
Kim.
later, so it's like 10:30. So
Thanks
sweet
for
dreams,
stopping
sleep
by.
with the angels, Kim. We love you too. Evelyn's saying no, I don't know more about it than you too. So hi to Mish, who's joined us as well. Evelyn's so funny. She's super funny too. All right. Let me see here too. We've got here, so the synastry, heavy nodal aspects, composite chart aspects,
Yeah,
heavy
so these
Pluto
are things
Uranus.
that show us like the twin flame stuff going on.
Okay. So
So,
you're looking at the nodes, you're looking at Pluto, Uranus,
yeah,
Neptune, where Venus is opposite Pluto, right?
yeah. If Venus is opposite Pluto, that is one where we are in love. We're seeing the full blown. If there's one aspect in astrology that gives us that feeling of twin flame, that's it.
Wow. Okay.
That's the
Wow. So
one.
that's like the marker right there too. Okay. Um, all right, let me see. Okay, and we covered soulmates and everything. So the
Yep.
positive aspects between those.
We
I
hit
think
it
we
all,
covered we
Jennifer.
hit it all. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any like questions here? We're not doing readings tonight, but if there are any other questions about astrology and how it goes with relationships, and your sexiness and your love and all of these things too, like um a lot of like I know when you looked at my chart, for example, is you're like, yeah, this is all about love for you. Like this is
Mhm.
your destiny too. So it's like there are some people that they're literally here to learn everything they can about that,
Yeah.
right? And some people are here to learn everything they can about something else too.
Yeah. Yeah. I see Jennifer saying about the
Yeah.
solar storm there.
Hmm.
Do we want to read her
Yeah.
comment?
We're in a good night, Brian. Sweet dreams to you too.
Good night,
Sleep with
Brian.
the angels. We're in a solar storm now and a huge coronal mass ejection yesterday. Artemis 2 is due to take off April Fool's Day, full moon in Libra. Yeah, that makes sense because today was weird, Danny. I woke up very discombobulated again, just like I did last week because there was another wave hit. So this is the next wave, and then the full moon is here right now too. And I was like, and then I went out in the afternoon to go to my trainer, and I'm like, it's back. So,
Oh my
perceiving
God.
energy is the trip, but
Well,
this
it's been like
explains a lot.
this, like just
Exactly, exactly. And so we had a little bit of a break over the weekend where it kind of settled down and then it hit us again too. So
mhm.
it's like this is not smooth waters that we're feeling right now when it comes into the energy. It's just more like crash, and crash and
Yeah.
crash and too. So we just what would you recommend for that too? Like, besides grounding?
So because we are in this
Hmm.
major Aries moment,
Hmm.
I work as a spiritual life coach where I teach my clients the correlation between the
Yeah.
12 signs of the zodiac and the 12-step program. So when I teach the first step, admitting that we are powerless over whatever, each sign of the zodiac has its medicine, the thing that helps us get through it.
Hmm.
So Aries is the sign of breath work. So
Ah.
I'm a certified breathwork instructor. Oftentimes I'll take my clients through breathwork experiences. Like the only tool that we really have to get through it, because we're not in control of what's going on. There's not much we can really do right now except just breathe through it. You just need to get through this part because the lowest vibration of Aries is shame and violence. So if we're experiencing shame, well, you got to breathe through it because it's coming out for a reason. And then violence,
Mhm.
well, that's oftentimes coming from the world rather than us in this chat.
Right, right. But
So,
we're seeing it and we feel it because we're all sensitive here too.
yes,
And it is heartbreaking. It's very hard on the heart for people who are like us who are very sensitive and empathic too. So yeah, so it's like just breathe. That literally sounds like that's the medicine right now is
that's
breathing
it.
too.
That's all we can do is just breathe through it.
It makes sense because if you're talking about fire, what the fire needs oxygen to
Hmm.
burn, right? So it makes sense that we're kind of like, you
Hmm.
know, with what we're seeing too. So what we have to do is breathe back the oxygen here to breathe us back into safety, bring us back into homeostasis, breathe us back into the parasympathetic nervous system. And everybody, like, please be careful how much you're exposing yourself to media right now too, because it's just it's just it's a mess.
Yeah, I
I
unfollowed
mean,
like so many accounts on Instagram that were just feeding me information that I didn't like. Anytime I see
yeah.
anything about Jim Carrey, because they spammed that all over Facebook, I have to
Mhm.
like turn that off. Like,
Yeah. If it upsets you, we don't have to keep exposing ourselves to it too. But what I also realized today, because I've been very lit up today, like and with what I've been picking up on too, and it's just like we're trying to detox from programming right now, from a lifetime of programming of how society and the world has taught us how we were supposed to be. And so we're trying to
mm,
find the real us. So this is very astrology. We're trying to find the real, authentic us, right? Too. So if we're exposing ourselves to too much media, all we're doing is reprogramming. It's just adding more programming, telling us how we're
yes,
supposed to be, what the masculine should look like, what the feminine should look like,
yes,
how you should be thinking. And so at some point, we need to just, like you said, just breathe and move back into the stillness and come back to us again too. What is true for us? Who
yes,
are we without all of this extraneous information. Sometimes it's helpful, but right now it's just overload, I think.
Yeah. Well, and the highest vibration of Aries is authenticity and self-actualization. And you said it, authenticity. That's why I was like, that's it. You know? And the virtue for Aries is action. So if you take
Yeah.
action and it's incurring a feeling of shame or a feeling of violence, you're not on the right track. But if you're taking action and it's incurring self-actualization or authenticity, that's the direction that we're meant to go towards.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And isn't that it? Yeah, Michael Zinn is saying breathing is fundamental. He's one of the hosts here on the Sacred Spiral Network as well. And
Amen.
shout out to Michael Zinn, everybody. He's him and his lovely wife Janice are my guests on the Love Show. 1, 2, 3 weeks from now, because we have a 2-week
Beautiful.
break too. So I want to say hi to the MZ too. But yeah, it's absolutely fundamental. So the authenticity. So I love how like what I'm picking up on energetically, like you're able to understand astrologically, and we can put the two
Yeah.
pieces together. That's just so cool. So
It's like you're speaking exactly what's happening.
yeah, it's so funny too. Evelyn's saying goodnight to, oh, she's saying goodnight to Brian too. Okay. So Evelyn's saying same thing. She can't handle the medias at
It's
present.
crazy. We need a break.
It's just too much overload. Too much overload. Michael's like authenticity with a capital AUTHENTICTY.
Yes.
Let's just leave that one up there for a minute. Michael's name. It's so all about that, and it's not easy, but we're getting there step by step by step. But I just kind of received the understanding that if we're just feeding ourselves more programming, how are we supposed to find authenticity? You know what I mean? So it's like we just have to be careful, and just look at everything with a question mark. Okay, all right, interesting lens. Let's find out more if that makes sense. But it's because we have these mirror neurons in our brain, and so we're always looking for feedback. We're always looking for answers. We're always looking for information. But sometimes it's in here. So I always say like spirituality, and spirituality, it can evolve. So things that maybe we liked decades ago or hundreds years ago, they may not be appropriate for us anymore, and it's okay to let them go. It's okay to say maybe they were outdated, or maybe they were distorted based on the time period that those things are put into practice. But there are certain ones that have stood the test of time, the ones that say everything that you're searching for is within you. Like to me, like that stands the test of time. Like that's a goodie. We won't give that one up.
Right. The kingdom of heaven lives within you.
Yeah. How beautiful is that too? Yeah.
Well, and
Everyone's
also,
saying creates division. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yes,
like
Danny.
the idea of religion is really being challenged in a lot of ways. Like I'm hearing of people saying like maybe I don't want to subscribe to this particular religion or this framework anymore, even though I grew up with it, even though this is, you know.
Yeah. Well, and we're in a spiritual community too, but we may find things even within the spiritual community that don't align with us anymore too. So it's like if we leave a religion and then we're like, okay, now I'm just going to go spiritual, you still may encounter things that don't align with you, that don't help you too. So it's important to have good discernment with anything right now, is just to have like good discernment and like learn how to trust your own inner compass too, because there's a lot of things out, in spiritual land that I call bullshit on. I just say, no, that doesn't serve us. That doesn't serve relationships. That doesn't serve women becoming more empowered and, men and women learning how to come into a relationship anymore. It just keeps us in our old programming and patterning too. So we can develop a modern spirituality together of what does align to more authenticity, to more oneness, to more, more of what we would call true unconditional love, which is without agenda, loving without agenda, loving
Yeah.
truly just to love too. So don't you love that word, loving without agenda,
Loving
right?
without agenda.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it means that the energy, whatever you do is not, so if you, like, for instance, like people pleasing, if you look at it from the lens of people pleasing, we do nice things because we're hoping to please that person, to get some kind of validation or to get them to do something for us. And how conscious we are of it is, depends. Sometimes we can see it, and then sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. So there's a different level of consciousnesses too, but there's an agenda to the energy and people can feel it. So when you learn to love, maybe we call authentically without agenda, then everything you're doing is because you just want to, because you're intending to, because that's what feels right for you. And it's without an expectation to have anything come back from them too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it
To
does.
Yeah. So I think we're going there, and I think we'll get there, but it's just doing the work, right? It's just doing the work too. And so that's why I always check myself, when I do things, and like, am I doing this from this part of myself, that's wanting to get something back, which isn't wrong, because I love on that part of myself too. But I check it just to make sure I'm in the right energy, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
It's tricky work, Danny. So,
Well,
um,
we do the best
anyways,
we can. Like Evelyn says here, loving without agenda is unconditional love.
yeah, thank you, Evelyn. I think that's what we meant by unconditional love. It didn't mean have no boundaries. It didn't mean let people walk all over you, because you can love somebody as they are with all of their flaws, but it doesn't mean that you can stay, in the same place with them all the time too. You may have to have separation from them, but still love them as they are.
Right.
And not expect them to change too. So it's just a different way of perceiving it too. So like I said, my chart's all about love. I've had a lot to learn, as you've showed me, Danny.
Oh my
Thank you,
gosh.
bingo. I love that
Yeah.
too. All right, my friend, we've been talking for a while. What would you like to leave us all with here today? I want to just hand you the rest of the
If there's
any
one
final
thing,
words.
yeah, if there's one message that I could give, something that's really been coming through for me a lot lately is life is a gift. And the act of living and the act of being here is a gift from Creator, from Source.
Yeah.
All the good, all the bad, everything that we experience, we have this piece of being that is our soul, and it's something that we get to experience life with its highs and its lows.
Hmm.
But it's better to experience high and low than to not experience anything at all. So
Yeah.
regardless of how the world is trying to get you down with all of the stuff going on in it, try your best, do your best to love as much as you can, to fix any outstanding things on your soul's blueprint where it's like, oh, that's preventing me from being happy or from loving as much
Hmm.
as I can. And then just try to show up with as much love as you got in your heart.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah. Show
feel.
up. Show up with as much love as you got in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, for yourself and for each
Others
other.
and the
And
world.
even if the world looks mad, give it love too.
God still loves the world.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Like no
yeah.
matter what, without agenda.
Look, regardless of popular belief, everybody goes to heaven.
I
Everybody,
I I agree with you. I agree with you.
you
I
know.
absolutely, yeah,
It's the
we're both
life
mediums
review.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
the
you're
life
a
review.
medium too, Danny, too.
Yep.
I need to state that too. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. Yeah.
It's the
We're
life
all gonna get
review
there.
that's the
Yeah.
hard part,
Yeah.
But once we get past that, then, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, some people have life reviews when they have a near death experience, or like I had what's called like a living near death experience. So I had a little bit of that too. I got a taste of that. It's intense. Yeah, yeah.
I would
But
love to learn more.
there's always your greatest hits though. That's what you really take with you. The rest will fall away. And
Yeah.
what you take with you, literally, it's the greatest hits of your life. It's like the hard stuff will fall away and melt away out of memory, but you keep enough just to remember. So for the record, but it's the greatest hits that shine the brightest too.
Mm,
So
I love
spirit
that.
is beautiful that way too. So that's why heaven is so magical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, and
So
I also just want to leave the idea of like everyone maybe set some kind of wish that you want to come true and
mhm.
plant that somewhere in your heart. And when you take your deep breaths throughout the day, imagine that wish is
Mhm.
being granted.
I love that. So breathe a wish and imagine it's being granted. Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me,
Thank you.
Jennifer. It's an honor to be here today.
That's so beautiful. Please say you'll come back.
Oh, I will. I'm here
this,
for your other show soon.
This was a lot of fun. Yes, Danny will be joining me on Embracing Infinity in just a few weeks. So we'll be getting a little bit more into like the general aspect of what's going on planetarily for all of us too. With this was a little more focused on love and relationships and all the the hot sexy stuff. But yeah, we'll be more focused in that area too. I believe our intention is to also bring more peace to the world too. So we have an attention surrounded around the explanation of what's happening with the cosmos too. So I love you, my friend. Thank you so much. I love sharing this space with you. And I want to thank all of our guests who have been here too. I see Tony popped in too. So hi, my friend Tony from Texas over there too. Good to see you. Again, everybody, we will be back on the Love Show in 3 weeks on the 20th with my special guest, Michael Zinn, and his lovely wife, Janice, coming on as a couple. So that will be very special. Also very surrounded with love and grace as well, too. And please join me this Friday for Embracing Infinity. It is our anniversary special. I've got Kelly Brickle, our producer, joining me for that. So it's a special one for me because we're starting year 3 of Embracing Infinity, my sister's show. So we're going to get off to a great start. So we look forward to seeing you on Friday as well. So much love to everybody. Keep remembering to live your best life and make it sexy. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. And I'll see you after the credits, Danny. Thank you. Thanks to Lori for taking care of us as well too. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you,
Bye,
Laurie.
everybody.